Hi, welcome to another Power Blast podcast. So do you find yourself surrounded by negativity all the time and it's really getting you down? I'm going to tell you how to get rid of negativity once and for all. Stay tuned. Hi, my friend. Perry Tinsley here, creator of the Power Blast podcast, the power of possibility, passion, and purpose. And we're going to talk about negativity today. And some of the tips that I'm going to share with you are empowering and uplifting. And I'm all about uplifting people to develop powerful habits. So if you want to get more focused, organized, and productive, you'll want to download my free Morning Success Habits cheat sheet at morningsuccesshabits.com. I know you'll find them valuable and absolutely love them, so let's apply some of these things in here. We're going to talk about negativity, and I'll tell you what, these tips are really going to help you, and our brains typically get addicted to negativity. Now, you might be one person that's applied some of these tips I'm going to share with you today, and maybe negativity isn't a thing for you, and that's so you know what it's like to be without it. But I just know, even for me, and I was just in a couple of groups that we were doing some chats today, or this past week, and we were discussing how we love to be around uplifting, positive, motivating people who encourage each other and want to inspire each other. But we also talked about, what gets us down, what zaps our energy, and it boils down to many times, besides nutrition stuff, negativity plays a big part of it. It's the stuff that just gets in your head, and it creates weird emotions and how you think, and distracts you, and can sometimes, a lot of times, be really unproductive. So it's time to break the habit. I'm going to share some tips with you. I won't get super on a bandwagon, what negativity does for the brain and stuff like that. If you want to dig into that, you can go and Google more. But here's some tips for you to apply. If you're finding yourself really stressed out and anxious, or being in an environment where it's just the negativity that's just getting you down. It's kind of like when I was in a teacher's lounge. I used to go there for lunch break, and man, we would laugh, we would have a blast. And then the next year, we were in negotiating contracts, and stress and drama became it dragged people down. And the lounge became this kind of toxic area where people were venting and griping and complaining. And I had to remove myself from that negative environment. I appreciated and loved the people that I worked with, but I just couldn't be around that negativity. And there wasn't anything I could do just to flip the switch and say, hey, follow these tips, because people were just in their own little world. And I think they really enjoyed just sharing the negativity. What do they say? Misery loves company. So anyway, here's your tips. Actively seek to find the positive, even in the most negative situations. Sometimes it's kind of like finding the silver lining. And there typically is something there, or something to be learned from. You just have to dig in and find it. So that's one tip to do. Another one is to just make a list of the behaviors, the negative self-talk you have, or other things that bring you down. Like I said, what was happening with me in the teacher's lounge, and avoid those things at all costs. Now, for me, while I still worked with those teachers, during lunchtime, I just didn't go and hang out there. I went and listened to an uplifting audiobook, had my lunch in peace, maybe talked with a teacher, who I found wasn't in the complaining mode, and just went that way. And the rest of the day was so much better than being filled with somebody else's drama. Speaking of drama from other people, tip number 3 is to avoid hanging out with friends who genuinely don't make you feel good about yourself. You know those people. You kind of walk in the room, and you're stressed out knowing that you're going to be meeting up with somebody, or having lunch with somebody, or just you need to go and visit, or they're going to be around, and you hear their name and you just instantly start to feel bad. you don't know. I don't know if it's you feel judged by them, or they're just so negative, or they just have that vortex about them. Just if you can manipulate your way out of that and avoid those things, that's going to be a big deal for you. It doesn't mean you don't care about these people, but if you can take it, from zapping your mojo, that's the best way to do it. Another one, and I think, I practice this a lot. I notice a lot of people don't, especially when you walk around. I live across the street from the Mall of America. We'll head over there from time to time, and people are just so, I don't know, in their head. But train yourself to smile, even when times feel tense. It's kind of the mind over matter headset, mindset sort of thing. And that confidence can fill up the room without even, exuding arrogance or anything like that. It's just, I'm a happy person. I can do this. And if obviously if it's an inappropriate time to smile, there's something sad or that sort of event's going on, that's one thing. But if it's, kind of like, man, it's really stressful, but you know what? I've got this. I've got a solution I'm going to figure out. And you just kind of know that, and you just smile and just like, I can handle this. I'll figure it out. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about. Another thing is use uplifting music. Think about your favorite songs. Why do they uplift you? And use those songs as a reference for, when those situations come. Sometimes when I'm just feeling really, where the negativity's starting to creep in, it doesn't take much but to go over to my music app on my phone and start playing some tunes right there, or putting in a headset or whatever. Even just listening to an audiobook, but many times, some good songs. Just make a little library or a little collection, a little playlist of something uplifting that can get you out of a funk if you find yourself starting to get into one or something's impacted you. Here's another tip. Stop watching the news and believing everything you read in the newspaper or in the media or on Facebook or whatever. Doesn't necessarily mean everything's fake. I know a lot of people like to use that word, but if you just think about it, there are the newscasts that just feed on delivering drama of the day. It's constantly negative, and they might throw in the token good story, feel-good story at the end, but by that time, you've been impacted with so much drama and so much worry and so much, oh no, woe is me. Not to say that some of those stories aren't important to know, but think about that, how that adds up on your brain. The way I look at it, is if you really need to know something, you could probably go and get the Reader's Digest, stories of the day, Google News, boom, what's happening. You can see the highlights. You can see those things. Maybe you have a news app, and you can look at it and say, do I want to dig into that story or not? But when you're watching the news and it's playing in the background or whatever, it's once again one of those vortexes that your brain's like, oh, what's next? It's a train wreck. I can't turn my head away. I got to watch this. I got to listen. I've got some stuff to talk about at work and add to the drama fest. I'm not saying some of that stuff isn't important, but I'm going to tell you what. If you step away from it for a week, just say, I'm not watching any news and tuning into the news for a week, chances are if you need to know somebody's going to tell you about it, and you're going to just feel a lot better. I know when we have the news on, if it's on in the morning, weather, traffic, whatever, that's one thing. But all of a sudden you've got, 6 stories. I think it was like 6 or 7 stories the other day. We were watching the news at night just before I was going to bed. It was on. And I leaned over to my wife and I said, do you realize they just had 8 stories in a row that were like super negative, super worry, super energy draining? So let's turn this off. So that was it. Next tip is to accept that negative things are going to happen. I know I said zap negative once and for all. Negative things happen. We got to be realistic, right? But it's how you react to those negative things. Those are the things that you can control. And sometimes I know life loves to give us challenges, and you've just got to accept the way in which you deal with the situation. That's truly the important part. Once again, if you can be solution oriented to certain things and say, you know what, I'm going to figure this out, or I'm going to come up with a way to contribute, or how I can help. That's the big part of it. And my other tip here is just to practice gratitude. Appreciate what you have in life. Be happy. Whatever it takes, be happy. Doesn't mean you have to, always be one of those, happy-go-lucky type of people, but strive for appreciation and being grateful for what you have. Guaranteed, you're going to feel a lot better. You can't have a negative mindset and feel grateful at the same time. I challenge you to try that. So powerful tips right there. If you want to zap negativity out of your life, you got to be vigilant about it. You got to break the habit because it is addicting. I still catch myself from time to time peeking in on something that I've been concerned about or worried about. And I'm like, why am I doing that to myself? You got to be intentional with your actions and get yourself away from it. And if you like those tips, and then you're absolutely going to love the Morning Success Habits cheat sheet that I told you about earlier, morningsuccesshabits.com. Go and download it. Use some of those things. You might not use all of them, but the ones you do, and you start habit stacking, like putting a few of them together, and they're super simple. Watch your mindset turn more positive, more happy, more focused, more productive. Just watch those things happen in time. And then you'll be coming and emailing me and saying, Perry, whoa, thank you for that. I've got it together. Things are clicking a lot better. So thanks for tuning in, my friend. If this is valuable, please share it with anybody you love and know. And as always, remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week.